And welcome to section 1.7, where we're going to evaluate expressions and formulas. Now, what that basically means is they give you an expression. Here's an expression right over here. -4 plus b. And we haven't really done too much with variables. Maybe a little bit, but now we're really going to take a look at what those mean. Now, variables take on different values, can take on different values. Unless, of course, there's an equal sign in the problem, in which case they can only take one value. But that's a little bit later in the course. Okay, so right now a variable represents any value, and you have to be told, what do you want to make b equal? Well, and then when I plug in that value, like in this case, we're going to make b equal 3. Okay, so what you're going to do to evaluate the expression is plug in everywhere you see a b, a 3, and then perform the operation. So when I plug in, okay, here's the expression. I'm going to plug in a 3. Although it doesn't really matter too much, I really should say that when you plug in the variables, make sure you put the variable in parentheses, and I'll show you why it makes a difference in later expressions. But in this case, it really doesn't make too much. You have -4 plus 3, which gives you -1, and there you go. You've evaluated the expression. Great. Let's go on to the next one. Now here we have an expression with two variables. Now to evaluate it, they have to tell you the values that you want to substitute in for those variables. Now in this case, you do really need to put those in parentheses. Like for instance, -2 dA. Now they want, that's equal to, well, -2, and they want d to be 5. See, now if I just put down 5 like this, it looks like 25, and that's not really what you want. If you put it in parentheses, now that looks like -2 times 5. So that's why you need to really put these things in parentheses. A equals -3. Everywhere you see an A, you put a -3 in parentheses. So in this case, what you've got are three numbers that are being multiplied. Two of them are negative, which means the answer is positive. 2 times 5 is 10, times 3 is 30. And there you go. You've evaluated that expression. Again, you have to be told what the values are for the variables in order to evaluate the expression. Okay, so I'll do this one. Okay, -4 s squared, because I'll do this one because exponents tend to get a little not complicated, but tricky. -4, everywhere you see an s, I put 3 in parentheses. See, 3 in parentheses, and then you square it. Okay, so remember the order of operations. I didn't show you this because we never, at the time when I did order of operations, we didn't really talk about exponents. But the first thing that you're going to do are parentheses. The second thing you're going to do are exponents. And the third thing is going to be multiplications and divisions. And the last thing you do are additions and subtractions. Okay, so the exponents are one level less than the parentheses. So, okay, 3 squared. Not negative. -4 is not involved in the squaring. Okay, -4, 3 squared is 9. So -4, okay, -4 times 9 is -36. -36, put that in there, hit enter. Well done. Very good, very good. Now, I'll do this one. And then I'll do this on a new sheet of paper too. Okay, put the expression down. I see two variables. So if they want me to evaluate it, they have to tell me what the value of r should be and what the value of s should be. And they do, right there. R is 2, so everywhere I see an R, I put 2. Now look at that. That looks like 42. Not anymore. Plus 2, S has got to be -4. Now, if I just plug in -4, it looks like I'm subtracting. I don't want that. I want to multiply. So let's see. I got no real set of parentheses that have operations in them. There's no exponents. I'm going to do multiplications, left to right order. 8 plus a negative 8. And then the last thing I do is addition. So 8 plus a negative 8 is 0. Interesting. 0. There you go. Okay, now here's a set of parentheses you do have to evaluate. Okay, so we do 4. And let me do this. Let me plug in the value of 2 for A. A is over here, 2. You could put parentheses there, but, you know, it's not really necessary because it's the first number. Minus, now here you do need parentheses because we have two signs together, okay? So here's what you got. You got to do what's inside the parentheses first. 4 is not involved, so what's inside the parentheses has a value of 2 plus the opposite, plus 3. 2 plus 3 is 5. And then when I multiply 4 times 5, I should get 20. There you go. Ooh, exponents. Problem with exponents. I think I could sneak that right in here. What I'm going to do is, instead of copying this on paper and wasting time, I'm going to plug in the 7 for A, negative 7. Now I do put the parentheses there because there's a negative sign operation. Okay, plus 3 parentheses squared. Okay, what do you do first? You do your exponents first. 3 times 3 is 9. This is negative 7. And negative 7 plus 9 is 2. Very good. Come on, it's taking time now. Okay, ooh. Should I let you do this one? Nah, I'll do this one. I'll do this one. And I'll do this one on a new sheet of paper. C cubed minus 2a squared. Okay. I really should have just put the numbers in. That's all right. C, what's C? C is negative 2. So in parentheses, I put negative 2 for C. I'll put that there. Minus. Think of this as a template. And you're plugging in for the variables inside the template. 2. A is 3, so I'll put 3 squared. Okay, there you go. Powers first. The negative 2 is inside the parentheses for sure. Negative 2 times negative 2 times negative 2 is negative 8. Minus 2 times 9, 3 squared. Do the multiplications next. Negative 8 minus 18. Negative 8 minus 18 is negative 26. Enter, enter. Nice work. Nice work. I think I'm going to leave you with, you know, this is not a hard problem. Let me just see what the next one is, just in case. I'm going to leave you with this. You evaluate the top, you evaluate the bottom, divide. That's what you're going to do here. I want you to experience that yourself. Okay, so this one here is really 3 problems in one, and I really hate that when they do this. Okay, it's really 3 problems in one. So let's take a look. File, nope, paintbrush. Paintbrush. Okay. So what I'm going to do is copy the template on my paper, 2x plus 2. And they want us to evaluate this expression for x is 0, x is 1, and x is negative 1. That's what x is supposed to be. That's all they want you to do. Do 3 separate evaluations. Okay, 2 times 0 plus 2. 2 times 0 is 0, plus 2 is equal to 2. That's the first answer. Second answer. Plug in 1 for x. 2 times 1 plus 2 equals 2 plus 2, 4. And last is 2 times negative 1 plus 2 equals negative 2 plus 2, and that's equal to 0. Even though it's 3 separate problems, that wasn't too bad. Check your answer. Fantastic. Okay. Damn, I should have probably done this first, because that's a fraction. Let me just see what the next one is. Okay. Same deal here. We have x. Interesting that they want us to plug in 4 and negative 4 as opposed to 1 and 2, and that's because here's the expression you have here. If I plug in 0 for x, 0 times that fraction is still 0. Now if I plug in 4 here, this is if you plug in a multiple of the denominator, you're going to get a whole number. So I guess they're interested in having you get whole numbers. If I plugged in 1, the answer would have been a negative 1/4. And that's not a bad thing. It's just they wanted, I guess, a whole number here. So if I plug in 4, I get negative 1/4 times 4, and the 4's cancel, leaves you with minus 1. And if I plug in negative 1/4, the 4's cancel, leaving you with a negative. That negative doesn't cancel. Negative and negative is a positive 1. Okay, so we've got these numbers: 0, negative 1, 1. Simplify. Check. There you go. There you go. So now this is a formula that you should be aware of. That's a formula you need to know, because we live in the world of Fahrenheit. If you go to Italy, they don't understand Fahrenheit. They use centigrade. And there's a way to convert from Fahrenheit to centigrade. And that conversion is given by this formula. What they're asking you to do is, if it happens to be negative 31 degrees out, boy, that's super cold. Okay, what would that negative 31 be in the centigrade scale? I don't know. So let's take a look. File, new, okay, let's take a look. So there's the formula. I'm going to say C is what I'm trying to calculate. I don't know what that is. 5/9. But everywhere I see an F, I need to put in a negative 31. Negative 31 minus 32. Okay. Do what's in the parentheses first. Geez. Edit, undo. Edit, undo. Okay. It equals, okay, 5/9. And what I'm going to do is say negative 31 minus 32 is negative 63. Negative 63. Just because I know my times tables. 7 times 9 is 63, which means 9 divides into 63. So this cancels, this cancels. Okay, so 9 goes into 63, negative 7. Don't forget the parentheses, the negative sign. And negative 7 times 5 is negative 35. Negative 35 in the centigrade scale. Now let's take a look at this guy here. Okay, what we're doing here is taking this formula for interest. It's an interest rate formula. The amount that you have in the bank. If you put in the bank a principal, say you put in $1,000, and after so many years at a certain rate, your bank account is going to have a lot more money than when you put in. That's the whole idea behind interest. This isn't exactly the way the banks do it, but it's close enough. In fact, the way the banks do it, they give you more money than what this formula shows you. So, if I were to put in $7,000 in the bank, right there, and 1 is just 1, there's nothing to substitute there, plus R. R is 5%. Now here's the key to doing this problem. You don't do math with percents. Don't do math with percents. You do math with decimals. So 5%. Percent means 1 over 100. 5 over 100. And so you get 0.05. That's the number you put in for R. 0.05. Not 5%, not the number 5. And T is the years. Okay, times 2. Okay, times 2. Well, you got to do what's inside the parentheses. And what's inside the parentheses has a multiplication that's got to be done first. So, here's what we have. 1 plus 0.1. Right? That's the multiplication we do first. And then the value of this parentheses is 7,000 times 1.1. And after 2 years, without doing anything, you'll look in your bank account and you'll have $7,700 in the bank. Let's see if that's true. $7,700. Boom. Yay! Boy, $700 for doing nothing. We made $700 doing nothing. Okay, I'm going to let you do this one. This table is horizontal as opposed to vertical, but they're asking you to plug in x is 0, calculate what this value is. Make x1, calculate what this value is. Put -1 in there, calculate what that value is. So I'll let you do that. Okay, now we're going to get 3 more problems, and then we'll be done with this section. R squared minus 3s squared. So this is our template. They're saying R is -2. -2 squared. Now notice the way I did that. This would be wrong. Okay, because the square would, you would think the square binds to the 2, and it does, and you get -4, and that's not right. Okay, R is supposed to be the quantity -2 that's squared. That's why you got to put the numbers in parentheses. That's why they did, especially with the powers, they can really screw you up. 3, and then s is 5 squared. And now you can do the math. -2 times -2 is 4 minus 3. You got to do the powers first. 25. 4 minus 75 equals -71. Area of a triangle with a base b and height h is given by that formula, 1/2 base times height. Find the area when the base is 28. Okay, no problem. So basically we have this. Let's section this off. Area equals 1/2 base times height. Another way to write that, if you're multiplying by 1/2, it's the same thing as dividing by 2. See, just multiply the tops. 1 times b times h divided by the bottoms, 2 times 1. There it is. It doesn't better. I think this looks better. Now what they want you to do is plug in for b. B is 28. A is equal to 28. 28 times h, 12, divided by 2. Okay, no problem. How about this? 2 divides into 12 6 times. 2 divides into itself 1. So basically the area is 28 times 6, which I'm going to use a calculator. 168. Let's see if that's right. 168. Okay, it's right. The length of a rectangle is 7 meters shorter than 5 times the width. Okay, here, let me separate this. We have a rectangle. There's a rectangle. The length is 7 meters shorter than the width. The width is W. The length is, now here's what I'm going to do. The length of the rectangle is 7 meters shorter than the width. 5 times the width, 5 times the width. So 5 times the width minus 7 is the length. Okay. Now, what do they want us to do here? Use the length. The length of this is 5. Okay, the equation, the length equals length. I thought they wanted to give us the area. Length equals 5w. Let's push it up so you can see what I have on my paper here. 5w, capital W, make sure you use capitals, minus 7. I think that's all they want. That's it? Wow, okay, very good. We're done. I thought they wanted to have us calculate the area, and the area would be length times width, so that's all right. We'll do that later. I guess we're going to forge ahead to section 1.8 in the next video. We'll see you then. Bye.